Okay, so a few days ago, I onboarded a new student. I'm going to be recording the full entire series on YouTube. Everything I teach him, everything that we do together will be uploaded on YouTube, and this is the first part of that. So enjoy. It's raw, it's uncut, uncensored for you guys. Okay, cool, bro. So, yeah, tell me about you, what you need to know, what we got to work on. Give me your skill set, give me your background, so I know what what you have experience in, and what your background is, so we can figure this out.
Yes, I was running a lead generation agency for a couple of months,
When?
working with the roofers, with the
When was that? How long ago?
landscape. Like 2 months ago.
Okay. Oh, so recently. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, to 5K a month. I had just 3 clients. Regarding outreach, I was just spamming people on Facebook, cold calling, and trying cold messaging.
Okay, wait. So okay, just back up. So let me go high level. So you ran an agency up to 2 months ago. You're still running it.
I mean, technically, I'm still running, but I'm not getting any clients. But yeah.
Okay. So did you get any clients ever? You said you got 3 lifetime clients.
Yeah, I had 3 clients for so total I was making 5K a month. So it's like I had a contract for 3 months, so it was
So
like
like one and a half each or something like that.
yeah,
So shitty small
right.
retainer. Okay. And when did you start that? Just so I know your background. Just so I know what like.
Probably like a year. That's where I end up
See, hold on.
on the smoke.
So you're running it for a year, and you managed to get
Yes.
3 clients over the span of a year.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first 4 months I just couldn't sign anyone. Like I had like probably 5 people on sales calls in
Okay.
total.
How
Um,
many sales calls total?
Probably like a fucking averaging one a month,
Okay.
something like one, two a month.
Okay, so you
That's
were
what.
like okay, so you were really doing it part time, right? This wasn't you weren't putting much time into
Yeah.
this.
Right. I was trying to find a way to automate this stuff because
Yeah.
like I was still working my 9 to 5,
Oh,
but
okay.
like
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
right. Um, but yeah, I just didn't want to sit at home and just do like millions of outreaches at home, and that's kind of I guess why it went super slow.
Okay. So you got the idea for the agency. About a year ago, you ran it. You managed to get 3 clients. You're doing 9 to 5, your regular job. What's your okay? Give me like this. What are you good at in terms of that you know you have good skills in?
It's hard to say what I'm good at. I mean, my sales skills are not the best because I don't really have much experience
Mm-hmm.
since I don't have like a lot of calls with these people.
Yep.
Um, to be honest, bro, nothing much, like nothing.
So you're just trying to okay. So you just try start kind of. Why did you start? Who inspired you to start? How'd you get into this space?
And probably as you could tell, I went through the SMI rabbit hole through the Imam Ghazi. I found this
Okay, and then
guy on
tried.
YouTube. Yeah, he was like, started with agencies and I make money. I was like, bro, let me do this. And I also was doing some drop shipping before this. Like, I was just trying to do some organic drop shipping.
Okay,
And then I found this Imam Ghazi and he was like, started this SMA thing. I was like, yeah, let me try it. Bought his course and here
okay.
it is.
And then
Nothing
you were
happened
trying
yet.
from there, right? And then basically, so you were basically learning from what, like free YouTube channels and stuff like that, and you were just trying to piece it all together.
Right. I was watching some people on YouTube. Uh, Actually, lots of people, and also had Imam Ghazi course,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
no
And
idea.
yeah, pretty much got nothing out of it.
Okay, okay. So basically, we can discount most of the experience, right? It was a year of trying to do something,
Right.
didn't put much time to it, didn't have much success. Signed 3 clients for like nonsense retainers, whatever. Could you deliver results to clients for these? Were you able to deliver anything for them?
Yes, like two of them were, getting results, but other one was was trying to cancel.
Okay, and so it was lead gen. So what was your offer for the clients? Because then if I know what you can actually deliver already, and you said 2 out of 3 got results, it's not bad at all, right? We'll see what we can shift to into the AI marketing model. Because bro, the only thing really, everything's the same. It's the same agency. Okay, so you're still like the value proposition is you're going to a business owner and saying like, "Hi, Mr. Business Owner, you're gonna give me $1 sign. I'm gonna give you $3 signs back." That's all it is, right? AI
Right.
is literally just the shiny object we dangle in front of them. Okay, to make them interested in your offer, and then they're more likely to get on a call. They're more receptive to the pitch. And if you say, "Yeah, we have AI tools to automate blah 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 fulfillment," right? They're more impressed by it. The market wants it, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, like, what were you doing for lead gen for those agencies? Because I bet we can just tag AI onto it, and we can make it better
Yeah.
too. But since you already know it, so what was it?
I mean, I was doing Facebook ads for them, and the way what I was promising is I was just promising leads. Like I was trying to promise appointments, but like I just know I couldn't deliver on this.
Okay, but you were okay. And how much ad spend did they give you? Do you know? Do you remember?
1K.
There's okay. So it was 1K,
I was
1K
trying to get
ad
1K.
spend.
One client sent 700. Other one had 1K. Two others had 1K.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay. So 1K was the most. So no, they don't even give you much ad spend. Okay. So Facebook ads at least, right?
right.
Okay.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, you said you were doing dropshipping and all this sort of stuff. Okay. Um, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. There's many different offers that we can run. Let me tell. Okay. Would you be interested in doing something exactly the same like that, just with an AI twist? So you're basically running Facebook ads because you have familiarity with that. Okay. Now here's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. With Facebook ads, stuff falls apart. Like if because when you're running an AI marketing agency, we want to target businesses that are established that have cash flow. Okay. So
Right.
this is going to be very important. We're going to be targeting businesses with at minimum 5 employees. Because if they have 5 employees, that means they have cash flow to pay 5 monthly salaries, blah, 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 benefits, etc., health insurance, whatever shit, right? So they can afford to pay you a cut of whatever, right? So you're not going to be stuck with shitty 1.5K retainers, number one, okay? Number two, if we target people who are running Facebook ads already, that means they have ad spend, right? And they're putting money in the ad
Right.
spend, and
Right.
they have some sort of system of actually acquiring clients. Now, here's where we can step in. There's no business that is 100% efficient in their client acquisition strategy off paid ads. Zero. Nobody. Literally nobody. Okay. Like we're just starting ads for like we're doing a new offer right now. We're running ads for the first time, right? To get people in, and we just started. We're not efficient, right? So because we want to target people who have money. That's number one, right? 5 employees. If they're running Facebook ads, that feeds into what you know already with Facebook ads, and what the offer will be to, and I mean, I'm just spitballing here, just random ideas coming out, and you can tell me what you like or not, but I think this would be the best given your skill set, is you would improve their sales process, okay? So you would improve the efficiency of their ads and efficiency of their sales team with AI solutions, okay? And what is that? The easiest one to implement is an AI voice agent that once a lead comes in through a Facebook ad, within the first 30 seconds, a voice agent calls them to book an appointment on the salesperson calendar. Okay?
Right.
Like businesses don't have this. If they do have it, okay, great, good for them. You found like one in a million, right?
Yes.
If you can do that, they're going to have much lower cost per booking, okay? And their ad spend is going to go further. And you can like there's
But
just
also better qualification process, I think.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because there's this chart, there's like this MIT study, and I talked about it like a bunch of times, but like in 2014 or something, and they found like time to lead matters obviously a lot, but like if time to lead is within 1 minute, you get 4x as much money out of the leads as anywhere else. So if it's 2 minutes, I don't know what it is, but it's not 4x, right? If you wait 5 minutes, wait an hour, like they fuck off. So before,
Right.
the only companies that implemented this were like ones who were really serious about it. They had human callers, right? Who like every time a lead,
Okay.
like they had people who were installed in their business. They had
Right,
one
and they're
worker,
also fucking paying this guy a lot.
right?
Probably.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yes.
But like if I was a business owner before, I would hire, I don't know, some American girl probably, pay her 3 or 4K a month, and say she has one job. Always be available on her phone. As soon as a lead comes in, call them to set the appointment. And that's all you do. You can fuck off. You
Right.
can do whatever the fuck you want all day. I don't care. But 1 minute to lead. Okay.
Right.
So, and 3 to 4K a month is fucking nothing, right? You can train some
And
universities to do
yeah, I
this.
mean, yeah, if they can pay this girl 3K for a month.
They can pay
How is
you
it in-
more. The
Yeah,
point
right.
is, right, that's a small business, right?
Yep.
And the AI solution is going to be standardized. Everyone's going to get the same high quality, doesn't sleep, it doesn't get tired, doesn't complain, doesn't have days off, right? So it's a very easy
Right.
pitch, okay? And this feeds into what you know with Facebook ads, okay? So tell me how that sounds. Give me feedback on that if you like that. If you don't like it, tell me. We'll go something else. But I think that's going to be easy for you to sell.
I mean, to be honest, it sounds like realistically. I mean, if they're paying this girl like 3-4K a month, like no way they can pay me at least 2K.
Yeah.
My question is, how do I get this? Like, my problem was for 4 months that I was just not getting enough clients, and not clients, I guess sales calls on my
Oh no,
calendar.
we'll take
Because
care of all that. I just want to get the offer first, and we'll do everything downstream
okay,
of that. We need
okay.
offer first.
The offer sounds great. I mean, it makes sense. It
Offer
makes
is
sense a
good.
lot.
Is that okay with
So
you?
yes,
Yeah.
right.
So that's the one we want to attack, right? Okay.
And also, roofers actually need it, right? Like, I need the service,
What's
like
that?
appointment setter,
Everyone, bro, it's like this. You say you had drop shipping before, right? So,
right?
out of all businesses in the world, I think it's like 33% are product based businesses where you're selling products to people, like this pen, like your drop shipping stuff. 66% are service based businesses that rely on leads. Okay.
Right.
So everyone's,
Okay.
there's like 5 million Shopify stores in the USA, right? Everyone's like, oh, I want to drop ship, I want to drop ship, whatever, right? Their total addressable market is this 33%. Whereas what we're doing B2B, leads based,
Right.
everyone's lead based. Roofer, like any gym, we have to come in, get an appointment with a trainer to sell someone. Like an agency, like us, right? You book someone, they get a sales call, blah blah blah, right? Anything, dental office, I don't know, insurance, like anything, brick
Right.
and mortar, right? Anything outside on the street, lawyer, anything, roofer, doesn't matter. They're all here, B2B, leads based, right?
Okay.
And so we're going to tackle this market. So niche in terms of roofing or not, if you have familiarity with roofing, great, we can try that. But we'll be able to test different.
Yeah, it's probably working with the fucking every single niche who needs leads,
Yeah,
right?
we can definitely try different niches because it doesn't really cost us anything. Because we'll be, again, the whole point is 5 employees minimum, so they have money, right? And running Facebook ads number 2. That's it,
Yeah.
right? And then when we start our outbound, we'll do, percentage of outbound to this niche, percentage of outbound to this niche, percentage of outbound to this niche. The only difference between
Okay.
them realistically for you right now is going to be is who you have familiarity with. So if you have familiarity with roofers, yeah, we'll do roofers first, right? But if you understand the sales process, and I'll teach you that if anything you don't know, right, it's always going to be the same, right? It's a lead gen
Okay.
form. They fill out an ad, they see an ad, they fill out the form, contact comes in, and then your AI voice agent jumps in, calls them to get a call on the calendar, right?
My question is how's really smart AI that they can like. Would people understand that this AI talking to them like
You can
this
even
fucking
say
robot, not
if
human?
it'll depend on what your client wants. The agents can be upfront. They sound completely real. They sound like humans,
Okay.
normal, perfect, fine, right? And there's different tools that we'll go into when it's time for deliver. Like this is my process. I want to first figure out your offer, which we've done now. Then we have to set up your outbound systems for client acquisition. We're not going to be running ads, obviously, because there's no money for ads for you, right? So we have to do cold outbound. We'll set up the most efficient cold outbound system, which for you is going to be cold email, okay? Because there's different stuff. You can do LinkedIn outbound. You can do like you were doing Facebook outbound. You can do Instagram outbound, which we grew all of my old agency off Instagram. You can do cold email. Cold email is the most efficient, hands-off, easy, low cost, very accessible, okay? But
Okay.
the importance of cold email is going to be the right type of email that you're sending out, okay? Do you have some familiarity with cold email at all in the past?
Yeah, I was trying to automate. I had like 20 domains set up. I was like sending 100 emails a day.
Okay.
But yeah, they didn't really get much from it.
Okay. So you had probably low response rate, right? Low positive response rate.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess from everything that you told me, probably my offer was trash since I was offering like leads.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. But like
right.
if you're saying you had 100 domains or 100 inboxes?
20
Oh,
20
20,
domains. I was sending like 100 emails a day.
20
Yeah.
domains or 20 inboxes?
Yes.
20 domains?
20. Yes.
20 domains. So then
And I had
three inboxes per domain?
no 2.
2. Okay. So 20 domains, 2
So
inboxes per
40.
domain. You have 40 inboxes total.
Right.
And then 40, you were sending what? 40 times 20 is going to be a lot more than 100. What's the fucking math on that? 4 times 2, 800.
I was sending less than 20. I was just I was just following one guide on YouTube where she was like saying that for the first couple of days that you need to like send five messages a day, then 10, and I just couldn't ramp it up.
Okay, and it doesn't matter. So we can send up like 35 a day, honestly, once we do proper warm up per inbox. Okay, so we'll be able to do more volume
Okay.
for you as well. All right, but if you were sending that for however long, point is you didn't have much positive response rate, right? Not much positive
Right.
response, right?
Right.
With what I'm going to teach you, you can expect realistically 2 to 4% positive response rate. Okay, and it's a bit of a Trojan horse entry point, and we'll go into that next call after we do all the setup. But essentially, you're not directly pitching your service on the first cold email. Okay, so instead, what you're going to be doing is you're saying something along the lines of, "Hey guys, I'm I'm doing research for a white paper, for example. Okay, I'm doing research for a white paper in this niche, which is their niche, right? To achieve this thing for whatever, right? Would you be interested in having an interview or call, whatever, for like 30 minutes with me to go into it? Okay.
Isn't it just better to be just upfront with the offer, not to pitch
No,
like on the second email?
because what we have to do is okay. So one is research paper. This works well for niches that have higher sophistication for bigger companies. Okay, way bigger, like that have like 100 employees plus. Okay, what's crushing right now is what I call the podcast method. Okay, so we actually will send them an email saying, "Hey, I'm starting a podcast about AI in your niche. Right? We're just starting out. We'd love to host you because of your experience in whatever you personalize it with AI as well, right? Would you be interested in coming on talking about AI in your industry?" Okay. That gets 4% plus positive response rate, right? Which means if you're sending 100 emails, you're getting 4 people saying yes. If you're sending 200 emails, just have 8 people saying yes. How many of them book afterwards? That podcast call is up to your follow up and all of this, but it'll be more than half. But let's say half. Okay, so you have 200 emails. 200 emails sent out is nothing. You have 4 calls, sales calls. Okay. Now the secret to this is you don't just come in there and do a regular podcast. Well, they expect that, and you frame it like that, right? But you do a podcast asking them questions, leading them down one of 2 paths. Okay, and it like you've done a couple sales calls before. Or have you seen my sales calls at least?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm going to send you that. I have a resource, 20 of my sales calls, a free thing. I have hundreds recorded. I can also give you those, but you can start there. Okay. So the regular structure of a sales call is you kind of set the frame and then you do this discovery phase where you ask them questions about their business, right, to make them feel special to see if they're a match. Okay. But,
I know what you're talking about.
Right. So and then after that, once you like go through your qualifying questions, and the best is if they're real qualifiers, but when you're starting out, they're not, right? You're just doing it to make them feel special. Like, oh yeah, well, you have this amazing thing, right? But then once they go through the question, you're like, yeah, you know what, we can help you. This is how we help you. Then you pitch them. Okay. And then at the end of the pitch, basically, when your script is good, because this pitch is scripted. Like A to Z is scripted. A monkey can do it. And we'll build your pitch up. Okay. But when it's scripted, every single person you talk to should be sold at the end here. So when you finish the pitch and you say, hey, does this sound good? They say yes. Do you want to work with us to implement this? They say yes. Do you see how it can make your business money? They'll say yes. Okay. And that's how you judge if you're good at doing the script. Okay. But again, this is not a high bar. Anyone who has a good script will get here. Okay, and you have me, so I'll write the script for you, with you, teach you, so it'll always be here. Obviously, if you have everyone saying yes, it's good, right? Not everyone closes, so your strength as doing like not a sales. Well, I mean, you're a sales rep for yourself right now. So okay, so your strength as a sales rep will be all in objection handling afterwards. So how many people of these actually end up signing? Okay, and this is where actually the skills of sales is at, not in the lead up to it, because in the lead up to it, it's a word for word monkey fucking script. Okay. So, but point is, with these discovery podcast calls, okay, they're just this first part where you're just asking them questions, and there's no pressure. So they don't think you're selling them anything, and you're really not for now, and you're not pressured because you said sales. You said sales.
Bro, it's so smart, bro. It's just so smart.
Right. It's actually cool. Yeah. But like I haven't seen very many people do it, but I can imagine I can imagine people make mistakes in terms of like they just treat it like just as a regular podcast, right? That's not it. You have to guide the conversation. You have to ask proper questions that lead them down one of 2 paths, and both these paths are how you can help them. But you can really help businesses one of 2 ways, right? One is, this is easiest to start with for beginners, is you implement AI solutions and stuff to increase efficiency, decrease inefficiency in their business, and increase their profits with their existing revenue stream. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I had another student. He started doing this he talked to a doctor. Doctor had, I don't know, like 3 or 5 clinics in a little 3 clinics, little geographic region, and he had 3 secretaries at each, or receptionists at each clinic. Okay, and he was paying them full-time salary. So 3 times 3, he had 9 secretaries total. Okay, and it's not a big business, right? He has 3 clinics. He's become, doctor becomes businessman or whatever. But 3 clinics not a big thing, right? But he was paying salaries for 9 different receptionists. Okay?
Yeah, crazy. One stocking replace and everything.
Yeah, so we were able to come in and actually replace not all of those, because you still want a human in the loop, right? But we taught AI receptionists to pick up the phone, plug in the database of their patients, right? And it was all compliant with what's it called, HIPAA or whatever it is, right? And they served the role of the receptionist. And then what he ended up doing is he kept one receptionist per clinic, just in case, and they weren't full time. But the nurse on staff would help with anything the AI couldn't do, because the nurse was always there.
Makes sense.
And then the receptionist
Makes sense.
actually also ended up doubling because they had nothing to do, right? Like the janitor and all this, she kept the office
Right,
clean,
makes sense.
right? But he cut, what is that? So he cut 6 salaries, right? And what does a nurse cost? I don't know,
Right.
let's say 45K a year. So
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
9 is he has $450,000 a year he's spending on salary plus benefit, etc. And you cut what, 2/3 of that, right? So we're looking
Yeah.
at savings of like 300,000. So if you saved a business
bro,
$300,000 a year, how much can you charge, right?
If we could do this for the roofers, bro, it's gonna be crazy.
Right.
Like,
So
we should stay. Yeah.
But that's
Okay.
but that's the thing, right? So that's decreasing cost. That's easier to achieve, but it's less sexy to sell. But you get smaller retainers here. But it's easier for someone new starting out to have confidence they're going to be able to deliver, because the other path is because both of them ultimately increase profit, right? You decrease in efficiency, and they have this revenue, and before they had this much profit, and now they have this much profit. Okay. The other path is you give them new revenue. And this is what you were trying to do with your lead gen thing. Okay. You get them new clients, new whatever, and the revenue that comes in is at the same profit margin as it was before. Now, for these people afterwards, yeah, you can implement other solutions to increase their efficiencies, right? So they make higher profits, higher margins, etc. But this overall is more attractive. It's sexier to sell, but it also requires more skill. And here you can demand bigger retainers. Here you can do 5 to 15K upfront for the setup. And when you're starting out, honestly, I would do half the start of that and then half on delivery. And then per month, 3.5, 5, 7.5, whatever, for like 6 to 12 months. Because they're B2B, they want long-term business partners. Okay, and that's how we're going to present you, and that's how we're going to position you. Okay, but back to the podcast. Okay, so with the podcast method, and again, for these bigger ones, doing something in terms of research paper comes across better. Okay, but
Yeah.
roofers, things like that, for kind of lower level businesses, less complexity. Let's go with podcast. We're gonna structure the questions to lead them down one of two paths for them to realize that they either need, to increase efficiencies and unlock profit
So
from existing
smart.
revenue, or that they need new revenue that can come in through
Right.
lead gen or AI or whatever, or like optimizing their sales process on Facebook ads, right? Which is new revenue because it is new revenue because their ads are more efficient, so they're getting more money and more calls booked. Make sense?
I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay, I'm throwing a lot
I'm
at you.
listening.
Do you have any questions? I'm just like brain dumped. Do you have any questions so far? It's
I mean,
okay.
the good thing that we can charge a lot, right, up front. Like, if we're selling the whole season, how much I can charge for example, if the company already has an employee who's taking calls, like security or whatever, like, if we're gonna sell AI bot to them, how much I can realistically charge?
I mean, you just got to figure out what they're okay. You're talking about we're gonna decrease inefficiencies in your business. We're gonna unlock more profits with existing revenue, right?
And up on revenue, I think.
They're two different things.
The different things.
They're really two
Okay.
different things, because this one, smaller retainers here, like 1.5, 2.5. Like if you're good at sales, the reason I say 1.5 is because you said you're not good at sales, right? But 1.5 is like nothing
Yeah.
for these companies. Like they'll pay you 1.5. They don't have to think you're not gonna be good at
Your
sales.
1.5 is good for me. So
Right.
I'm taking it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if I'm good at sales, I could probably sell for 3.5, 5.5, something like that. Same business. Okay. Same exact thing, whatever. But I'll teach you that too. But this is easier to deliver on. Okay.
Right.
And that's why it's okay for a beginner. Increasing revenue is harder because like literally increasing revenue is what we're doing with your agency. Because right now we're at 0. And we have to
That is
increase
true.
revenue to whatever you want to get
Right.
to. Right? This is the hardest. This is what people always struggle with. This is why you got this fucking coaching. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna have to build out. Okay. So with the podcast, I'll give you this is high level everything. We'll go into details of all this stuff, right? But just so you understand the workflow and what we're gonna be doing is with these quote unquote sales calls, but they're not podcast calls, right? People are eager to come on. They're eager to share their experience because honestly, what do people like talking about most? Themselves. Like, look at me on this call. I'm just blah, blah, blah to you, right? But that's what it is, right? And if you, again, I'll teach you, we structure the questions correctly. So at the end of the call, they're like, oh, holy shit, like these guys are actually good. They can help me do X, right? Get new revenue. They can help me decrease operating costs, right? And then it's very simple. At the end of the call, you always one important thing. If you remember nothing else from this call, remember this. At the end of that podcast call, you have to schedule the follow-up call. Okay? And you literally just frame it like, hey, would you guys be open to, like, we can actually build these solutions for you. Would you be open to seeing a proposal if I come up with a custom plan for you guys?
After 2 calls.
And it's a 2-call close, right?
Okay.
And then the cool thing is there's no pressure as well, because I'll give you AI prompts that we built that take the transcript of the podcast call, right? Take all the stuff. We'll input your skill set in there, and then anything else that that I can teach you that you might need, and then it comes up with the full proposal written out that you present to them, right? And you will present it to them like one of two ways. This really depends on what you prefer doing. Okay, one, it's a little more time intensive. You can have the proposal up. Right, it'll be in a Notion doc. You'll transfer the AI output to a Notion doc. You'll beautify it a bit, blah blah blah. Right, and you can do a Loom overview across it, and in that Loom, you go over exactly what they're going to do, what they're going to achieve, blah blah blah, and you're going to show them that you're going to give them the pricing at the end as well, right? So that if they get on that second call, they're already good to go. They just got to ask you some questions. They're good to go. Right? So there's no sales pressure on you, right? And if you don't want to do it that way, you want to present it on the call and have an opportunity to sell everybody, then you just do the same thing on a follow-up call. You just present the plan to them there, right? But since it's B2B, it's more logical sales, obviously. So you just have to, it's like normal. You have to just tell them, right? Like you give me $1 sign, I'm going to give you $4, $5, $6 signs back. Here's why, here's how it works. Right. For your agency, what we're going to do is this. This is the best, because like, I'm assuming you want to scale as high as you can, right? There's no like, oh, I want to get to 10K, and then once we're at 10K, I'm happy at 10K, right? Like, we just want to get you as high as possible. That's my assumption always, okay?
Yeah.
So the easiest way to do this and the best way to do this is we're going to acquire your first client like this, and this will be the biggest grind, but it's still easy compared to what I was doing with SMMA and all this shit, right? We're going to get your first client, we're going to deliver them results, and as soon as there's results in there, you'll have other clients coming in because it takes time to deliver results, obviously. So you get 3, 4, 5 clients, something like that. But as soon as your first client gets results, we can use that as a case study. Once you have your first case study, that's when we hit the scale. We start scaling this, right? Because like I saw a stat somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, but like 80% of sales, they say, are made based on testimonials and case studies. Which like I grew Boom Boom creatives having none.
Makes sense.
Like zero. Not that I didn't have them, I just never used them because I was like too lazy to put it together. And like we closed, we did good. So this is like, I want to make it as easy as possible for you, right? You're learning from my experience. So processes, we're going to run outbound. We're going to do this sort of podcast offer, or if we're doing higher complexity businesses, we're going to do the white paper research thing, but it's always the same thing. They have the highest positive response rate. People are always eager to talk about themselves. There's no pressure on them or you. We're going to structure the call properly so it leads them down one of two paths. They're even going to ask at the end, basically, can you implement this? Because the questions are correctly ordered to get them into that line of thinking, right? At the end of the first call, you're going to schedule the follow-up call. We're going to feed the transcript of this call into AI, plus some other prompts that we developed to give you the proposal. You're going to get the proposal. You're going to put it on a Notion doc. You're going to beautify it a little bit, and you can film a Loom for them, right? Or you can just do it on the next call, and that's it. You're going to sign your first client like that. And then when we start delivering results, it takes a couple months to actually for them to see good results, and then you say, hey, can we use you as a case study? And once you have the first case study, then your outbound and outreach is so much stronger, because then you're like, hey, you're in the roofing niche, right? We help this this company go from, 100K a month to 900K a month.
Yeah,
with our AI system.
Yes, right.
Right? We can do the same for you.
Right.
Just instantly stronger pitch. Make sense?
Yeah. The more case studies, and the better testimonials, the more trust I can build in their eyes. Yeah.
Okay. So what we have to do for you in terms of action points, and write this down. Okay. So you have some emails from before. Are they still active, or are we starting from scratch?
No, they're not.
Okay, so we're gonna start from scratch. Okay. So do you have the domains?
I need to check.
Or you don't know if they expire. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll get domains if you don't have them. If you do have them, we'll keep those domains, right? We will set up the inboxes for you. Not manually. Never do this manually. It'll take you like 5 weeks to do it manually.
Okay.
Bro, I did it manually for like 20 inboxes in 2023. At the start of the year, it took me like 2 weeks. Like the DK mark, all this bullshit. So we have better ways of doing that. It'll be automated. They'll be set up. We'll plug them into cold emailing software, and we'll warm them up for 2 weeks, and then we will figure out the niches you want to attack. We'll do roofing first. We'll scrape the leads for you. We'll plug those emails in there, and I'll show you the proper structure of the cold email that we're going to write as well. All this sort of stuff, right? Invite them to podcast or research paper, but let's go podcast for now. And
Will you help me to build a script for the emails?
Sales script, email.
Yeah, no, for the emails. Yeah,
all this. Yeah, bro. Everything. I'm here for everything. You got one-on-one unlimited with me on Telegram too. That's just our onboarding call, right? I just want to meet you and figure out what you need help with, right?
Okay, that's the good thing.
So we're gonna be texting a lot on Telegram, okay, or WhatsApp, whatever you prefer. But okay, so emails will go out. It'll be 2 weeks to warm up. So once we plug the emails in, like I want you to do that. Buy the domains tonight, and we start that tonight. So 2 weeks from now, we'll start sending cold email because speed wins in business. We got to move fast always. Okay.
And what deletes you gonna provide?
What's up?
Deletes like the emails of the roofers.
No, we got to scrape them. We'll scrape them later. Okay. Yeah, we'll scrape them during the warm up. Okay. So we'll scrape them during the warm up, and here's what we're going to target. Like I said, roofers will be one. I don't know if it's going to be the only one. Probably not, because I want to do some others. But I want companies that run Facebook ads and have at least 5 employees. Those are my two criteria.
One more question is I'm still working 9 to 5, and my question is how long it will take me to manage everything, like how many hours a day, I guess, or to do all outbound. Like what I want is just to work like 9 to 5 while everything is running like without me. That's ideally what I want. Not just hopping on the sales calls.
That's what cold email is. So like your time commitments are going to be like these calls with me. Okay. We'll set you got to go in and buy the fucking domains and set up them, and I'll help you set up. It's very quickly. It'll take like half an hour to set up the warm up stuff and import those domains, right? Import the domains, import the inboxes into the email sending software, and we'll start warm up. Okay, it runs by itself. To scrape the list also, it'll be like half an hour. I got to teach you what to do, and you just do it. Okay, and then the scripts, I'll give you all the scripts. I'll give you all the copy for the emails, etc. So that's just copy paste, right? And then you press on the campaigns, and they start sending. Okay. You'll get the mobile app for if we're going to use Instantly or Smart Leads. I don't know yet. One of those two. But they both have mobile apps now with a Unibox, central inbox for all the responses. You can have those on your phone, right? So in your 9 to 5, I'm sure you can check your phone every once in a while, right? If someone says positive, right, you want to get them in right away. You can also train AI to do that, but I don't want to. That's unnecessary complexity at your level of scale. And I want you to learn how to respond to them and all this. I want you, you'll show me messages you don't know how to respond to. I'll teach you how to respond to them so you understand what you're doing. And then when AI comes in and does it for you, for example, you'll understand what's going on, right? But yeah, that'll happen. And then the sales calls will be booked on autopilot. We'll just open your calendar. We got to configure your calendar. So I'll show you that too. I'll give you our stuff, our agency, snapshots of everything we've done. It'll be just copy paste to you. The calendar integration is there. The pre-call sequence is there, so make sure people show up. The SMS, email, drip sequence, all of it's there. Realistically, at the start, bro, however many hours, what are we at? 4, 5, 6 hours total now. Okay, and then calls will start coming in. They'll be booked on your calendar. And you got to take those calls, right? And two-step, and then once you take those calls, there will be time. You have to put time into transferring the proposal that AI spits out into a nice Notion doc for everybody. But you have to put time into this. No way around.
Okay.
Right?
No worries.
Obviously. Yeah. Right? You got to put the work in to make a good sale for thousands of dollars. Right?
Right.
And then on the second call, you present it to them. You're going to record all those calls. You're going to give them to me for feedback so I can give you feedback on all this. Yeah. Right? We can, honestly, it's not hard. It's not hard to sign your first client. It won't be hard to sign any clients. It just depends on how many calls you can take a week with your schedule. But I'll give you an extreme example. If you can take 20 calls a week, I don't think you can if you're 9 to 5, but maybe, okay? Because the podcast calls are they're 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. They're not long, okay? I'm used to, before I was doing for Boom Creators, man, 2 to 3 hour sales calls. Some on e-com agency running ads for you, right? Most saturated offer, we still scale it to, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yeah, probably 30, 45 minutes. So you can probably take 2, 3 a day, right? 5 days a week at least, right?
Easy.
So we're looking at 10, and plus maybe some on weekends too. But I'll tell you this, if someone wants really fast success, I want them to have 20 sales calls a week, because from 20 sales calls a week, right, you're going to close 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, the thing is I'm getting very, very nervous at sales calls. So that's the thing that I'm worrying about. Like what I'm like, for example, in the past when I was hopping on the call with someone, I was getting like super fucking nervous, and like people could feel it when you're nervous.
Okay,
When
that's
you're
the cool.
speaking
That's
unconfidently.
I'll help you with that. I'll help you with sales. I'll help you with like the whatever mindset stuff that might be attached to that. You're on a fucking computer. You're on a screen. They can't see. Like, they're not there physically with you, right? For fuck's sake, you're talking to a screen, right? You're on your own in your little fucking room. But okay, one, two. It's not a sales call. It's just a podcast call. And we'll set up your socials. We'll put some time into this. We'll set you up with a YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Will be your name and then the whatever AI podcast, right? And we'll actually record these calls and we'll start putting them out there. So when you start doing, for example, a month from now or 2 months from now, let's say, and you have 15 podcast calls or even more, we're doing 20 calls a week. We're not going to do 20 calls a week in 9 to 5, right? But 10 calls a week in a month, you have 40 calls. And when someone checks you out, oh, is this guy legit? Yeah, they're legit, right? And all it takes is we make one banner image on YouTube and we just say your name and then whatever we call your podcast. And you tell people, hey, we're just starting out. Would you like to be one of our first guests? And that's it. So that's not a sales call. So there's very little pressure there, right? And I'll also give you a script of what to ask. And you're asking questions. Like question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5. Right? Like you're talking to me right now normally, right? You're not nervous. So it's like this, right? The only thing you'll be nervous about is at the end, you'll be like, hey, so like we can actually, we have AI capabilities to actually install all these tools for you. Would you like me to come up with a custom plan of how we can implement this in your business? Right? But we'll have led them down the path where they realize, yeah, I do want that. And that's it. And that's the second call. And then because you said you're nervous with sales, I'll make you make the loom before. So you send the loom before this call, they'll see the loom. If they show up to the call, they've already seen the loom, they're sold. So you just got to hash out some small details of whatever they have to ask questions for, right?
Okay,
so
makes sense.
Very low pressure.
This makes sense.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Excited.
So action items is get back to me, write me the offer as we described it, which you understand, because I want to know what's in your head based on what I said. Okay, so write me the offer. And I'll send you where to get domains and what to do and set up the inbox and all that. I'll send you those instructions. Okay, we'll do that tonight. And we'll plug in as soon as we have the inboxes, we'll plug them in and start warm up. That'll be 2 weeks. And then I'll give you the scripts and the copy for all the emails. And we just plug them in.
Okay.
And during this time, we'll scrape the list, but we gotta get warm up started as soon as possible because it's a 2-week dead space window. But in those 2 weeks, what we can do, for example, one, you can watch my sales calls to learn, right? Just to get exposure to them, right? What it's like, and yours are going to be way lower pressure. And then 2, we can we'll get your social set up, right? So if someone Googles you, like, okay, this guy's legit.
Yeah, makes sense.
Make sense, man?
Yep.
Okay.
Satisfied.
Cool. So you have me on WhatsApp, Telegram, wherever you prefer. Okay. Anytime you can message me, I'll message back. And I think this is good for now. Any concerns, message me, and we'll do the next call in a week, or anytime you need a call, you just tell me, right? But
sounds good.
We'll go from there.
All right, bro. Excited. That sounds good.
Cool. Good to see you.
I receive it.
Cheers, man.